Have you ever looked at a language like Finnish and felt just a little bit intimidated? Well, today we're going to crack its code, and you're about to see that it's built on this surprisingly simple and honestly really satisfying logic. Think of it like playing with Legos, especially when we start talking about words for different jobs.
I mean, just think about it. What if learning a new language wasn't about memorizing endless vocabulary lists? What if it was more like playing with Legos, where you could just snap smaller pieces together to build bigger words? That's exactly the journey we're on today. We're going to see how Finnish is less about brute force memory and more about understanding this beautiful, logical system that you can actually decode.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basic logic of the language. Then, we'll get into the fun part, the doctor building block, and the specialist suffix. After that, we'll check out how this works for office jobs and find some really handy shortcuts. And finally, we'll unlock your new Finnish superpower. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's talk about the core logic of Finnish. And here's something that makes it wonderfully simple right from the start. It's all about function, not gender.
You know, in a lot of languages, like Spanish for example, you have to deal with gendered nouns for jobs. Is it a male doctor or a female nurse? It creates this whole extra layer of rules you have to remember. But in Finnish, that entire headache just vanishes. A doctor is a doctor, period. It's a clean, super efficient system right from the get-go.
Okay, let's grab our first Lego piece and see how this whole thing starts to build. Seriously, this is where the magic happens, where we start creating specialists just by snapping words together.
So meet our first key term. This is our foundational piece, our main building block. It's the word for doctor. Just remember this one, because we are about to attach all sorts of other cool pieces to it to make totally new words.
All right, quick pop quiz for you. Get your Lego builder brain ready. If hemmos means tooth and eläin means animal, how would you use our main doctor building block to create the words for dentist and vet? Go on, take a second and think about it.
And boom, there it is. That's the logic in action. You literally just snap them together. A tooth doctor becomes a dentist. An animal doctor becomes a vet. It's so intuitive, right? Once you know the little pieces, you can just build the job title. It's awesome.
Okay, so that's one pattern down. But, you know, Finnish has a few different types of building blocks in its toolbox. Let's look at another really common one, which you'll see a lot with trade jobs.
So this building block is a single word. And while it literally translates to man, in this context for jobs, it's not really about gender. Think of it like how we add ER to a word in English to make it a person who does that thing, like a builder or a painter. Here, it just means specialist.
Let's see it in action. You take the word for pipe, you add our specialist piece, and you get pipe specialist, a plumber. Simple. Same thing with electricity. An electrician is an electricity specialist. See? It's that exact same simple logic, just with a different Lego piece.
Okay, so we've covered medical specialists and tradespeople. But what about office jobs? Well, this is where things get even more interesting, because you'll see how Finnish logic can actually mirror English, and we'll find some very welcome shortcuts. Okay, take a look at this word. At first glance, the word for accountant looks kind of like a mess, right? Just a jumble of letters. But I promise you, there's logic in there. Let's crack this thing open. The first part means book. The second part means keeper or holder. So, what do you get when you put them together? A bookkeeper, which is exactly what an accountant is. The logic was hiding there in plain sight the whole time. Now, some words are, well, they're just a mouthful. This beast right here is the official Finnish word for a realtor. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to make you say that one. And the good news is, you probably don't have to. Because here's a great practical piece of advice. In real life, you can just use the much simpler word for agent. It's a loan word from other languages, everyone understands it, and it saves you a whole lot of linguistic gymnastics. Phew!
And that brings us to the easiest building blocks of all, cognates. These are basically freebies, words that are super similar across languages. Police, artist, musician. See? Sometimes learning Finnish really is that easy.
Okay, so let's zoom out and bring this all together. What have we actually done here today? Because this is important. You haven't just learned a few random words. You've learned how to see the system behind the words.
So here's the big takeaway. You now have 3 powerful patterns in your mental toolkit. If you need a medical specialist, you grab the doctor block. For a trade specialist, you grab the specialist block.
And for other descriptive jobs, you just combine the basic components. You've learned a set of tools, not just a list of facts. That's a huge difference. And get this, using the building blocks we just figured out, you can actually understand this full Finnish sentence right now. You see artisti in there, you see the word for accountant, and suddenly it makes sense. I would like to be an artist, but my father is an accountant. How cool is that? You can already start to read it.
And really, that just goes to show you, underneath the surface of something that seems crazy complicated, there's often this simple, beautiful logic just waiting to be discovered. It really makes you wonder, right? What other secrets are languages hiding, just waiting for us to find the right Lego pieces to unlock them?